Radio on Q4.
For Chicago, by Chicago. With another episode of 6D Radio, ladies and gentlemen. I hope y'all are having a great day.
Yes. So happy to be back.
Me too. We have a full studio. Oh my goodness. It's been a while since we had a studio this full. We got our Artist of the Week 100.
Yes, sir. How y'all doing?
We have OAB Productions.
Hey.
We're going to learn some more about them. And, man, we're going to just entertain you. It's going to be a great time. It's
Let's
about
go.
that time, right?
I can't wait. It's a Monday, but I'm energized. Let's get it.
About Time by Ash right here on 6D Radio.
Finally found you, I am on my way down. Listen to the sound, just listen to me. I'm here to hold you, cause nobody told you. It's okay now, it's okay. It's about time I found out. They can't bout how far I really came. It's about time I had a good day. Oh, hey. Getting started, I'm on my way. Moving forward, can you relate it? When it's your time, you cannot stay stuck in the same place. And I can always count on you. And you know and you are the best, this is true. I'm your number one fan. Here I finally found you, I am on my way down. Listen to the sound, just listen to me. I'm here to hold you, cause nobody told enough of you. Can't get enough of you. You can see it on my face. Oh, there is something here. Yeah, it is something real. I wanna keep on running with you. That's what I want, yeah, I wanna do. Ooh, with you, I got nothing to prove. Let that love come through. Finally found you, I am on my way down. Listen to the sound, just listen to me. I'm here to hold you, cause nobody told you. It's okay now, it's okay. It's about time I found my way. Thinking about how far I really came. It's about time I had a good day. Oh, yeah.
New Ash 6D Radio. I hope you all enjoyed that. That was great. I like that. How's everyone doing?
Feeling good.
Good. Wow. Yes. Well, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. I can't complain. I've been getting up for work at 4 a.m.
Oh, you a trooper.
You're a little sleepy.
and I just feel productive. Like, okay, now work is over. What else should I do? Now I feel antsy. Like, what needs to be done? So,
Good for you.
I've been doing that.
I know you were like, I feel productive. I was like, I feel tired
Oh, definitely not too.
by
because
4 p.m.
Sometimes I just want to just go home. Like, I'll crash at the end of the night. So,
I feel that. Yeah. Because what time do you usually get off work if you go that early?
here's the thing when you working at AV. I'll start work at 6 a.m. depending on the day. Today I got off at 2:30. There days I'll get off at 5.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Or
that's a
maybe
lot.
6.
Depending
or
on the
maybe 8
project.
p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yep. You know I know about that life.
Yeah,
Grinding entrepreneur. You were never not working.
Okay.
definitely.
You gotta make it work. I'm like, usually I am up at that time, but it's with an infant.
Right. The children.
Yeah, what I'm gonna have to do is you got to switch microphones.
Yeah.
We can't hear me.
Yeah.
I mean, we can, but we can't.
I can move here.
Yeah. How about we just slide the microphones over?
Oh.
How's that?
Smart.
4 a.m. I don't even remember the last time I was up at 4 a.m. Unless
Okay.
it was like from the night before.
Oh, Lord.
I feel like
4
somebody
a.m. is
now.
crazy.
My sister, I'm like, how do you manage, like, how do you do everything in life? She's like, well, I get up at 4 o'clock every morning, work out, get the kid, do all. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. That's
You have to
Overachiever.
get up early because man, if you don't, you're gonna find yourself up like very late and wide-eyed and tired, and then when you do go to sleep, you might wake up at a time you normally have to wake up, and you might get cranky. You may have a very low tolerance for things like maybe loud noises or just people just being people. Like it's just something that you just have to think about at times, and it's like you being productive, you may get tired, but man, your tolerance for a lot of things would get really, really low too.
Do you drink coffee?
I don't like coffee.
I'm not a fan.
To wake up at 4 a.m. and no coffee?
Tea?
That's, wow.
I like tea. I'm a
drinker.
juice person.
Okay,
Like
yeah,
I
okay.
gotta have my morning juice, pomegranate, cranberry, grapefruit. I like the juices that people normally don't.
You're getting that
Go
energy,
for it.
though. That's good.
Do you at
Yeah.
least take some vitamin B? Some vitamin B pills or something? Cause
I'm like, how? Yeah.
I be running off fumes.
I'm with you. I'm just like, how do people do it? Like, not without any type of
Honestly.
any type of something. Like, that was something.
some green tea or something.
I thought you was about to
Chai
say some
tea.
greens. I'm like, dang, that
Boy,
sounds good.
greens might have some energy in it too. It's better than juice.
Man, listen, y'all. Welcome to 6D Radio. Powered by 6D Networktainment. I'm Toucan.
I'm Shani.
And we have our Artist of the Week 100. 100.
Hey.
How y'all doing? What's good?
And we have OAD Productions in the building. We have Liv. Please tell me your last name. I do not want to slaughter it. I don't want you to jump across the.
I feel like as
table.
artists and producers, we have like multiple names, like, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
you got your
definitely.
government name, you got your artist name, you got your stage name. So my professional name is Liv Peterson. My artist name is Liv Roscoe's, but I go by Liv Peterson, so that's fine.
Nice.
I love it.
Yeah.
And you're one half. Is it one half? One half, or is it a full team?
Yeah. So this is my partner in crime, my partner in creativity over the last year on this project that we've been working on, and excited to talk. Yeah, to
That's
talk
fire.
to you.
That's
So this
fire.
is Yolanda. I'll let her introduce herself. Yeah,
No,
go ahead.
thank you. Yeah, my name is Yolanda, and I serve as a photographer for the Black Music Month series that we're part of. So,
You can pull the.
Oh, gotcha.
test 1 2.
Yep, there you
Okay,
go.
that was a DJ. Hi everybody, my name is Yolanda, and Liv is my partner in crime, and we were fortunate to work together for almost a year.
Yeah.
In the making to really showcase Black Music Month for the month of June, and to launch what is called Music to My Soul. And it's really an ode and a celebration to soul music. And there's a docu-series using photography to really support 6 emerging artists, and then 6 more kind of seasoned artists who have really paved the way for soul music from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. So
Wow.
yeah, we got a lot of programs for the month of June. That's why we're here.
I love
That's
that.
cool.
I love the sound of that. Man. So we the topic of the day is that we're celebrating Black Music Month.
Yes,
There's
sir.
so much going on. And I want to ask everyone in the room, what does Black Music Month mean to you? And 2, how are you making your contribution? And 3, what would you like to see more during Black Music Month?
I like that. Who going first?
Well,
Let's start with the team here.
yeah.
Okay.
I want to talk a little bit about the significance of the space, because that's really how the project came to be. So OAD Productions is the arts and production side of Overflow Coffee. Overflow Coffee is located at 1449 South Michigan, and it's on the historic Record Row. So in the 1950s through 70s, Overflow Coffee was the home of the former VJ Records, Brunswick Records, and then there was one other record label after that. But VJ Records at one time was the biggest independent Black-owned record label in the U.S. They actually scouted and brought the Beatles to the U.S. and did the Beatles' first album before the Beatles went to Capitol Records.
Yeah.
Gladys Knight came through the space. Who else? The Shy Lights,
Shy Lights, Jackie Ross.
Jerry Butler, Gene Chandler. So like just all of these legends came through the building that we're in now, and like we're doing music in and booking artists. And I think for me, it's, you know, the way that this project even started is because we had a meet and greet, and we had some of the artists that have been connected with the labels coming back in and coming back into the space. And one of the artists that we had talked to at this book launch, this
Jackie
meet and
Ross,
greet,
yeah.
she was in tears, and she was saying like, there's really nothing on this block or in the city that is like paying homage to all of the work that we did, like all of the legacy. Like there's nothing that's paying homage to that except for this coffee shop. Like we have all the records on the wall, we have the mural of the original exec team on the back. We're bringing in the artists that were part of the label to be a part of the conversations, to be a part of the shows. And that's what even sparked like this conversation, like we have to do this. We have to, like, if the city is not going to, like, I don't know how on it, like, if they're not going to do what they need to do, then it's like we have to, it's us. Like, we have to start these conversations. We have to start these interviews. Like, we have to, it's crazy that you had like an independent, small Black-owned label that brought the Beatles to U.S. and that's not on a billboard. That's nowhere to be found. You never even know that.
Yep.
And it's like, at the time, a white label wouldn't sign the Beatles because they said their music was too crazy, too wild. That person, which is crazy to think.
Too
It was
offensive.
Black, it was
Like,
Black music. That's
I
why.
want to hold your hand was too offensive. back then.
So, but yeah, so that's how this even started. Is like we can't just be in this space and not honor all of like the legends and the legacy and like bring them a part of the music and the conversation. Like they have to be the ones that have to be the focus, and then like, you know, bringing in the cross generations of emerging artists and like seasoned artists. So I don't know if you want to say more to that.
No, I mean, you hit the nail. Just to kind of add on to what my partner in crime was saying, I think, you know, as a photographer, we wanted to really understand what it meant to archive, because archiving is important. And so we have a lot of this information, we have records, we have stories, but how are we able to kind of really celebrate and pass it on so people in the future can really see something really significant, whether it's images or videography, to really tell these stories. And so I think that's what it means for us, at least for music, Black Music Month. It means how do we maintain and sustain the legacy of what has been going on, because we're going to get older, you know? So some of our emerging artists who are doing some amazing things right now, 50 years from now, they will be considered, you know, our older artists who really paved the way. So how can we...
How's their legacy preserved?
Exactly. How do we preserve it, but how do we also inform? I think Black Music Month is also about education. You know, I'm from Cali, born and raised, and I've lived in the city for over a decade. This is my home. You know, I've contributed. I've learned a lot in the city, and it's beautiful to see such rich history. It's also painful when people don't know. So another purpose of this series and the programs that we're doing is to make sure that people are informed, they're educated, because when we look at the different artists from the 60s, 70s, and the 50s, the emerging artists who are kind of paving the way, they know the history. You know, some of them are related to certain artists.
Sample their music.
Right, they sample their music. Other artists were prodigies, you know, like I think about Avir, you know, he was a prodigy to Gladys Knight. So much of that is important to even these emerging artists because they understand that history. But I think it's really painful. We have a lot of artists who leave. This is like the tension of the conversation. You know, again, being from LA, my sister, she's an artist. I get it. But if you know history, Chicago has that. They have that scene of people paving the way for so many people, not only in Chicago, but nationally and globally. You know, people know soul music across the globe. But it's painful when you go into your neighborhood and people have no idea what Record Row is. That's painful. So I think for Liv, you know, her being an artist, being a producer, really having a love and care for artists, but then also being an artist herself, she understands the challenges. And I think it was important for us to say, how can we be intentional with the space that we're in, and how can we also be responsible for understanding the history and making sure that we sustain that for over time. So that's what it means to us. It means celebration, education, but then exposure. We have to be honest. You know, we have a challenge when we market the city with our artists. It's fragmented. There's great things happening. I don't want to make it seem like there's nothing going on, but it's not glued together. The infrastructure is not there. So how do we come together and be intentional to ensure that people stay and grow here?
And it's not recognized like other spaces, right? Like and even in the documentary we watched, we had an event this past Saturday, and in that whole documentary, it's called Cradle of Rhythm and Blues. You should watch it. It's all about the space and what was happening in Record Row. It talks about how like Detroit was all these other spaces, but somehow in Chicago it's like you have all this crazy legacy, this history, and it's just like, what happened? Where is this being documented? Why isn't this like? There's just so much politically that was happening too, and it was just it was sad to see like the ending of that documentary. But at the same time, like hopeful that, you know, we had George Daniels on the panel from George's Music Room, and he was talking about, you know, being Etta James Driver and dating Minnie Riperton and like all of the legacy that he built over the years in the city. And you could see kind of like a pain when the question was asked in the audience of like, well, where is the music industry now? And he was like, there is no music industry in Chicago now. And all the younger artists and people, they're like, eh! Like it was, but it's like that's where the fragmentation between the seasoned artists and the emerging artists is. Like there's and that's what we're trying to pull together. It's like, no, there are still younger artists, emerging artists that care about this music and look up to you, and like we want them all on the same bill.
And it's hard, you know, I'll cut it out because we can go all along. We got other things to talk about. But I think, you know, when we talk about this, you know, I'm very sensitive to what is happening that's positive. You know, you have DKs, the city's, you know, Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Events. You have so many co-working spaces that are trying to do that, again, but it's fragmented. And I welcome the conversation because I don't think we're saying something that's off the charts. I
No,
mean, we have
yeah.
12 artists, and we live, at least 50 other artists who would be saying the same thing. They're saying, I want to stay here, and I love the community. I think the connectivity of the people are willing to support each other as artists. But when it comes to infrastructure, whether it be grants, showing up. I mean, one of the videos that really pained me, she literally talked about political leaders just showing up. Conversations about residency programs, as an artist. And this is something I never thought about. But she talked about just navigating the city. She has show after show after show. If she was in a residency program, or if there was a way for her to just be housed differently, she would be able to support. Again, stuff that sometimes you don't think about. Because I'm an economic developer. I'm thinking about revenue. Record Row actually employed people. There were people who were working not only as musicians but technicians, people who were kind of doing background cleanups, engineering, all of that. So it was a whole infrastructure and it was a whole industry. And how do we think about those ways that will impact the city? You think about the festivals, but I think about the winter. What are we doing in the winter time? Summer is blowing up, and I get that.
Yeah.
50 festivals.
Right. I mean, can we be creative and think about innovative ways between November and May to really showcase art and creativity? So again, I welcome more conversations, but I don't think what Liv and I have been advocating for is off the charts. I think we know we have a creative industry challenge. People are leaving because of that. So
I respect a ton of stuff that you all have been talking.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Music is near and dear to my heart, especially more specifically in Chicago, because I kind of have that history. I worked for DKs. I'm recording, right. Yay! I worked the festival circuit. I've worked for Chicago Recording Company.
Right.
I know a lot of different sides of the industry. I'm a member of the Recording Academy. I'm a member of Women in Music. And the most passionate thing I'm a part of now, besides 6D, because 6D is first.
60 is the baby.
60 is the baby, is I'm now a music advocate for the Center of Creative Entrepreneurship out of 2112.
Oh,
And
yes.
a lot of the
You ain't ringing this bell enough for me.
I wasn't saying those things to be to brag about them.
You can
but I'm
only
saying,
brag in front of jealous.
yes.
come on.
Otherwise,
shout
you're
out-
just saying your
right.
accolades. You're just saying what's true.
And shout out to Scott Fetters, because I know him from my
Yes.
economic development days.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Shout out to Scott.
Scott is the man for
Yes.
sure.
Yes.
But I say all of that because a lot of the work that a lot of the conversations have been surrounding a lot of what you just said.
Right.
Yep.
And I recorded it for content for us. And our we have a structure to this show, but we go offline a lot. So
It's good radio. You never force things that happen naturally.
exactly.
Right.
It's
Right.
music
Can't
business. It's a
force
talk.
schedule or a script.
Exactly.
You know?
It's talk radio. So we do what we want in this mug. But a lot of what you said, we're trying to help fix. So we are having the conversations of going into different neighborhoods.
Right.
And kind of segmenting our audience to fit where we're trying to start and where we continue to gradually build from
Right,
there.
right.
And it has a lot to do with economic growth. It has a lot to do with artist resources in the
Right.
city. And I hate to say it, it's trying to do what D-Case is struggling to do.
Right. Right.
And I can truly, truly say that from inside and out of being there and seeing it happening. And I know the efforts. It takes more than one person to want to push
Right.
for things. And I shout out to one of my mentors, Frank Lewis. He's an incredible person.
Yeah.
And I know he has been working for decades
Right.
trying to get artists to develop
Right.
and to stay here.
Right.
And even his work within DK's, he was trying, he still is trying to hone that in and try to bring things into different neighborhoods and all sorts of things. But it's here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you said, it's the politics of it all. It's
Right.
a lot of things that can't happen unless the right people
Come together.
come together
Yeah.
and
Say that
play a
again.
part.
Right.
Everything that used to be. We always talk about what used to be.
Right.
Even Milwaukee was the second record road.
Right.
Milwaukee Avenue.
Yeah.
All the Capitals and the Universals and all those people, even if they didn't have an office, there
Yeah.
were record reps everywhere throughout the city. Where in the heck are they now?
Right.
You know, so it's a lot to dive deep into. So that's kind of like it's a passion project for me. It's a passion project for 6D and where we want to go in 10, 15, 20 years from now. And also with this being Black Music Month, to kind of tie it all in together, like
Right.
we want to make sure that stays at the top of our minds.
Right.
Because we can talk about, oh, this person came out with an album and this stuff is great. Of course, Chicago has the most talented
Yes.
human beings of all time
Yes.
everywhere, you know. But the thing is, we have to come back to what's important.
Yeah.
And it's supporting those artists.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's giving them resources and it's helping to develop them so
Right.
that they don't leave. Because they're going to leave all day.
Right.
Because the coast got what they need, even though they struggle there too. But,
Right.
you know, we have to make a better ecosystem, more specifically for our Black artists.
Yeah.
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 Welcome to Black Music Month. And I want to say this, one, like, I commend OAD Productions
Thank you.
Yeah.
for everything that you're doing. That's why we have you on the show.
Honestly, I learned a lot even from that spiel. I'm like, come on, y'all. Y'all better.
And Liv, I wanted to surprise you.
Oh Lord.
Oh, did you figure it
Like you
out?
having a baby.
Figured it out.
Okay.
I did a little. I didn't give up. I did a little
What?
research.
I'm
Good for you.
nervous now.
I'm
What
proud of
happened?
you.
Is it a surprise? Okay.
Say nothing.
Okay.
I didn't
Wait,
know
do you know about this?
No,
Oh,
I know
yeah.
diddly.
I didn't know you were an artist,
Oh yeah. I did a little something.
and you sound good.
Okay.
So between your music and OAD, you sound like you running things.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
You got a segment, don't you?
I mean, she's running is the song.
Oh,
Liv Roscoe. Running right here. 6D Radio. We'll be back with more OAD Productions in 100 on 6D Radio.
Grab my coffee for the day. Rushing to work to be on time. I'm so busy, mind is foggy. I can't think straight. That can wait. IG, please, won't you validate me? Just wanna feel like I've been seen. No, my soul is drowning as I try to ride the waves around me. Running, running so much that I disappear. Running so much I'm not here all day. Running so much, do I know my name? Running so much, drive myself insane. Wish the grass was as green as the season of the one in my head as I dream of the other side. Take a step, but I'm losing my stride. Can't keep up with my shoes untied. Can't fret the past, cause I tune in for me. Running from the present, got my rhythm off key. No, my soul is drowning as I try to ride the waves around me. Running so much that I disappear. Running so much I'm not here all day. Running so much, do I know my name? Running so much, drive myself insane. Running so much, drive myself insane. Running so much, do I know my name? Running so much just to feel alive. Running so much, but I cannot survive. Running so much, do I know my name? Running so much, drive myself insane. Running so much just to feel alive. Running so much, but I cannot survive. much, I'm not here or there. Running, running. Running so much, do I know my name? Running, running. Running so much, drive myself insane. Running so much, drive myself insane. Running so much, do I know my name? Running so much just to feel alive. Running so much, but I cannot survive. Running. Running so much, do I know my name? Running, running. Running so much, drive myself insane. Running so much, drive myself insane. Running so much, do I know my name? Running so much just to feel alive. Running so much, but I cannot survive.
I felt like hip rolling. I don't know about it. Oh, yeah. I don't. That's somebody's. It's your watch.
Okay. I'll leave.
I think
Is it
it's
still
your
doing
watch.
it? We good now? Okay, I'll leave it off.
Yeah. We're gonna have to figure
Yeah,
it
she
out.
might be right.
Or is it the camera?
But it's,
Watch gone.
something is going on, and I don't like it.
Grab my coffee for the day. Rushing to work to be on time.
I'm about to take it off.
I gave you my mic when
No, it wasn't.
It's you all's mic as well.
yeah,
It's
I
both
noticed that.
mics for some reason.
Is
Turn
it?
it down
Are
a
we
bit.
peeking here? Okay. Before I touch. Okay. Do you, yeah, I looked at the sign as I was
Look,
about
I'm
to
letting
touch
y'all
it.
witness all the shenanigans, all the background radio. Welcome to radio.
Hello.
I think I'm peeking here, and I want to turn it down on this mixer right here, but I will do it with y'all permission.
Go for it.
Okay, pick it up again. Oh, your headphones probably look very loud.
Yeah, I think I'll
There
just
we
peek
go.
right up here.
Okay,
Hooray.
turn theirs down as well. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, turn everybody's down.
Shout out to DJ Unstable with the music beds.
Yeah.
Hey, DJ Unstable.
As we get our ish together, please enjoy the vibes of DJ Unstable. All right, let's try this again. Oh, there we go.
Yes.
Welcome to 6D Radio, ladies and gentlemen. If you are in the YouTube live chat, we appreciate you. We appreciate you. Darius Lyles. What's up, D Lyles?
What's up, D Loud?
Dexter Peterson.
Hey,
How
that's
are
my
you,
husband.
sir?
Hey,
Come on, husbands.
Hey, hubby.
Wedding bells.
Good.
Come on. It's the support for me.
Yes.
And shout out to Brian Jenkins.
I
He
said
said,
yes.
He's cracking jokes in my text
Yes.
messages. He needs to quit it.
oh, man. We are back celebrating Black Music Month. This is the first episode of Black Music Month. We have OAD Productions. We have 100. A very full studio. Shout out to our photographer, Ryan Nair.
Yes, sir.
An amazing photographer. Book him
Book him.
for your photos.
Y'all need his information. Hit me up.
Yes. Shawnee is his manager.
Yep.
Okay, so OAD Productions. You all have an event every single week this month. Last week you had an event. How did it go?
It went well. It went well. It was specific. We showed a film, Cradle of Rhythm and Blues, which was an hour documentary about Record Row. We had different panelists. Aaron Cohen, who actually connected us with almost all of the artists. He knows everyone that came through Record Row. He has their contact information, and he wrote a phenomenal book called Move On Up. And it talks all about chess records down the street, talks about what was happening at VJ Records and just everything in that space. He was on the panel. And Zishan B, who is a soul artist and does a fusion of like Bali soul music. And he talked a lot about just how a lot of music has gotten lost because you're not in the studio,
Right.
like actually putting together music with musicians. And he's working on a full album in New
Right.
York with like a full orchestra. So he's amazing. He's
Yeah.
an amazing performer.
Yeah.
And then George Daniels, who started George's Music Room and just talked about his experience in the industry, talked about, you know, selling records. That's how he started,
Yeah.
just selling records out of his car, and just how he got introduced to everything. And it was a really good conversation. I think it was very like educational.
Right.
A lot
Yeah.
of people just had no idea. There was a lot of business owners that came like from that
Right.
area, and they just, you know, didn't even know that what was happening really with like Record Row and
Right.
that area. So yeah, I think it went really well.
Yeah, shout out to the Metro Board of the Chicago Urban League, because we had our moderator, and we're just trying to be intentional to collaborate with different organizations and people, and so we've had a lot of great support with that event. So we're excited, and I think what's cool, like just thinking about each event, I think the starting phase was, okay, the education and awareness of the history. So this Saturday we're going to have the art exhibit that really showcases not only that history but the present times. So we have 12 artists that are part of this docu kind of photo series, and we're going to showcase them. We're going to have images of them that people get to see, their portraits and their stories. There's video as well, and so we'll have a panel that will have some of those artists, not everybody, but some of them, be able to just talk about their experience with, you know, the photo series, but then also why they are in Chicago, why did they choose to stay, or what are the challenges that they face, so you can hear it kind of in person.
Or why do they
You
come
know,
back?
Why did they
Why
come
we
back?
come
Because some
back.
people left and now, you know, they're coming back. And I think it's nice because you see kind of the documentary, the history, then the photo series, and then people get to meet the artists, right? Like one of our goals was to have their merchandise. We're gonna have QR codes of, you know, their links so people can support their music, because again, the idea is for artists to stay here, and they stay when you support them. The week after that, we're gonna have kind of more of a jazz kind of laid back session, which will be, I believe, the 17th of June.
It'll just be like, come in, grab coffee, listen to jazz, listen to great artists, just like while you're grabbing coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
And then our last show. Can I talk about our last show?
go ahead.
I'm
That's
really
all you.
excited. Like, that's the whole vision of OAD Productions. So OAD stands for Overflow After Dark Productions, and it all started by putting together jazz, soul, R&B showcases, evening showcases with live music, live bands. So this is our first like cross-generational showcase. So we have Ronaldo Domino, who had hits and when he was like 17, 18, right, 19 years old, stopped doing music for years, and then resurfaced as an artist in his 60s. And like toured across Canada, has a whole band. He's great, like putting out music videos. I'm like, who does your visuals? Like, we need to get some of these younger artists to figure out who does your visuals. So he's one of the headliners. And then Samara Ackland, who is Barbara Ackland's daughter. And Barbara Ackland is like Chicago Empress of Soul. Like, she came through the label, so it's her daughter that's gonna be performing. And then D. Lyles is gonna be on that show. Starlet, who just came back to Chicago, who I met through Windy City Fest through you. And then Avir, who toured with Gladys Knight for like 5 years, and it was her protege. And then we have Kia Trammell, who's also amazing.
Oh,
So
she is so
yes,
amazing. Such
yes,
a sweet
yes,
soul.
yes.
We love her.
So we wanted a good mix of like emerging artists coming back to the city, and then artists that have like paved the way. And I hope that this will be the first of many like cross-generational shows, like where we have the OGs on the same bill of like people coming up. And from this, like Darius and I talked about this, I think it'd be great in the future to put together an actual album of like emerging artists.
That's awesome.
And then artists that came through the label.
That'd be
Like,
amazing.
they already want to sample their music. Like let's do an album. So that's a
We manifesting this
Yeah,
today, okay? And I'm gonna put it out there. We need to do like ciphers. I'm thinking
Yeah.
about ciphers, whether it be gospel or soul or funk, or just a way for people to get the exposure. And I think shout out to Liv, because you know, what's been interesting to see kind of the work done over, you know, a couple of years, it's grown into a community. And I think what's really important about these events, it's to support the artists, but the community wants this. I think
Yes.
you think about being able to go into spaces that are safe, but then engaging good artists. Let's just be very clear. People who know how to perform live with the mic on. Let's be clear.
Okay.
Not, you know, with the mic on, but I think also just being in a space where there's good vibes, good music, and just good impact. And we're seeing kind of like returning customers, right? And I think that's attributed to Liv really being able to build a community. You know, she has acoustic afternoons that are every other Thursday, I believe. And so those are an opportunity, because you kind of think about, where do you start? How do you,
Younger
you know,
artists, college. We do a lot of stuff with
we do a lot.
Columbia College.
We got Columbia College. Shout out to Columbia College, because we're able to build a partnership where it's not just music, it's also photographers, videographers. We have people who volunteer, students, right, who want to make it in the industry, not just as a musician, but to support that artist. And I think we're building a community. Liv has built a community to ensure that it's sustainable, because you can't do it alone. I think that's the biggest thing. An artist has so many elements to how they can be successful, and Liv is building that within this space. So I think it's really important to let people know that building community is critical, so you get that support.
Love that. Yeah, a lot of what you're saying, and it's funny because how I got introduced to Entrenuity.
Yep.
Entrenuity first. I was actually looking for a space for 6D. You know, for us to like have our meetings, to convene, all of that stuff. It didn't quite work out in my favor, but it's okay. we'll move forward. But
Still partnering.
yeah, but things don't happen on accident. So I got introduced at the end of 2020, I want to say. I was talking with Haley. I met Brian. We had a one-on-one. Shout out to Brian.
Brian Jenkins, who's on the line. Yes.
We had a chat about just nonprofits. I bought his book, and we were just talking about a lot of different things. And then through me wanting to partner with Overflow and 6D, they were saying like, yeah, we used to have this open mic series, but we're not really doing it that much. But Liv, she's actually joining the team, and she's going to like pick it back up and do some stuff. So I immediately got connected with Liv, so on and so forth. And just seeing from less than 3 years ago, about two.
Yeah,
2
I've been
years
there
ago.
a year full time.
Gotcha.
Since June.
Yeah. And the way it has just grown so quickly from what they told me was like, oh yeah, they used to, we kind of did. Then the pandemic hit and we kind of don't really do it anymore. You really transformed that space. So congrats to you. Kudos to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Why am I ringing your bell, movie? You supposed to be the
I'm
bell.
sorry, I'm talking.
You right. I give you a little grace. Shout out to Wendy Daniels, who is on the YouTube.
Our whole team. Hey, team. Thank you for listening.
She said,
Love
shout
that.
out to OAD Productions, Liv, Yolanda, Overflow, Entrenuity, Mati, and the whole team. Woot, woot.
Yeah. Honestly, what y'all doing is very commendable.
Yes.
Like,
Thank you.
by preventing the erasure of Black culture, especially
Say that again.
in Chicago, because people act like we don't have a music scene here.
There's
It didn't
definitely a music
exist.
scene.
It isn't one now. We're trying to like break those myths. It does exist. Preserve. I work at a museum, so archives is so important. So yeah.
Thank you for that.
And speaking of music, we have an artist, our artist of the week, 100.
Yo, what's
Look,
good?
you the reason why we do the work that we do.
We appreciate it.
Exactly.
As an artist, I can speak on behalf of all artists. We definitely appreciate it. For sure.
We're going to learn more about 100 on the other side of the break. Until then, here's C.W. Allen, legendary. We doing some legendary things in this studio.
Come on.
Here it is on 6D Radio, y'all. Let's go.
Took up my crosses, learned lessons from losses, gain the world, lose my soul. That's one hell of a offer. Been in my glow since a shorty, survived the gutter, the gory. I put no caps in these raps, I just be telling my story. A to God be the glory, still got my life, so I'm blessed. Even when it's a mess, I turn stress to success. I'm under pressure, never pressed though. I shine like new dimes, out the dirt like presto. What you press for? You should be happy I made it. What's my congratulations? I had to dance in the rain, master the pain with patience. A real gift from God. They play this game to be famous, but Schaefer's still here. And favor ain't fair. Jones. Yeah.
We want to win, ain't never scary. We ain't never scary, nah. We just want the legendary. We just want them brain. Take the notes, the secretary. Take the notes, take them down. Cause we just want the legendary. We want the win, ain't never scary. We ain't never scary, nah. We just want the legendary. We just want them brain. Take the notes, the secretary. Take them notes, take them down. Cause we just want the legendary. I woke up this morning with a new race. About to set the pace from your basement to your basement and your new whip and your sanctuary. That's God's plan. Legendary, scary hours, watch it curry. Stranger things, otherworldly. Take the shot, Stephen Curry. You know, yeah. I'm raising my baby and cater my lady. I'm dropping for souls. The hook and I Jamie and call for the duty, but you cannot play me believing for things I know they can't see. My rock a suit and a comfortable tee. Pit in the back, yeah, I'm burning the tree. Father me rich and they sweating the G. Yeah. You wasn't down for the underground and that's facts. Don't try to link for the cosign, we gon' tax. Got a Snapchat with some followers, you gon' flex. Thank you, bud, we Ariana, that's next. We want the win, ain't never scary. We ain't never scary, nah. We just want the legendary. We just want them brain. Take the notes, the secretary. Take the notes, take them down. Cause we just want the legendary. We want the win, ain't never scary. We ain't never scary, nah. We just want the legendary. We just want them brain. Take the notes, the secretary. Take them notes, take them down. Cause we just want the legendary.
I forgot I switched mics. We're back with 6D Radio. That was C.W. Allen, Legendary, featuring Schaefer Jones. And it was such a dope, like, I can think of it's a great soundtrack type of songs. Like, I feel like I'm about to get ready for like a fight or something.
Okay, I'm like, wait, I can't hear myself. Yeah, no, it really sounds like
It sounds like triumph to me. Like like a win. Like you like I'm here.
So this is C-Dub is an artist I manage, so I could talk
I know.
about,
I did a little research.
Oh, okay. She's like, I did my research, okay.
We do research around here.
That is a
6D
part
Network
of 3 different like it's a 3-part album. So it's like a whole story about this guy named Lion Legendary, and it's like his whole entire story. So that was like album number 1. Then there'll be album number 2, album number 3. So they're actually going to be making like a film from those albums. So
that's cool.
Very cool. Yep, you submitted the music to me, handed over to her. She did the research. We be doing this. We trying to do it right. Yeah.
And speaking of doing our thing, like I know somebody else who's doing his thing. He's right here in his studio. He got his shades on. He got his dad.
He interview ready.
He's ready.
He ain't looked like that before, y'all.
His beard looks moisturized and shiny. And
I had to get it right,
ready.
you know, for sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, 100.
I appreciate that. Trying to do my thing for sure. Hey, speaking of the dad hats, this is like my merch. It's my first piece, my second piece of merch. I'm about to launch a merch website, have my merch everywhere.
Love
Just trying to evolve as an artist, you know.
Exactly.
What
is it called?
So my company is called New Law Souls. Me and my friend Randolph, we started this in like college, and it was just an idea in college. And since I've been making music the last couple of years, we really wanted to take off with it as the merch. So we got logos, and we're trying to do it.
Very cool.
You're not trying to do it. You're doing it.
You're doing it. Come on.
You're definitely doing it.
Hey, I claim that when there's money coming from it, then I say I'm really doing it.
That's the whole nother lecture. I was about to we're gonna learn.
I think
more about
we got an episode about that.
It's the Capricorn in me, you know.
So I smelt it from here. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I love astrology and all of that. So it was either Sag or Cap for me. So good to know. Good to know.
This is a question. One of 2 questions we ask every artist on the show.
For sure.
What song made you want to start creating music? I love that.
That is an amazing question. Can I answer it with a project and not a song?
We don't have no rules.
Okay. I got 2 projects that really mean a lot to me. Okay. So my favorite rappers are Wale and J. Cole.
Ooh,
very cool.
I like your style. I judge people from their
Yeah.
Favorite artist. So great job, sir.
Yeah.
You're good in my book.
Wale, that's my favorite rapper. So 11-111 Theory, that mixtape was really big for me. That was like me kind of picking my own music, figuring out what I like, what's important to me.
Yeah.
So that one's huge. And then 2014 Forest Hills Drive.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Or The Come Up, one of those two. Yeah. So those are the ones that made me feel like it was something that I could do. I've always like written poetry. So like artists like Wale, making that transition from spoken word to actually making music kind of made it feel like it was feasible for me. So
I love that.
yeah.
I love that. So what's kind of like your inspiration in your writing process? Like, how do you get inspired to put the pen to the paper or not? Let it come off the dome.
That's a great question. I feel like that's kind of a fluid process for me. Like sometimes I think it's evolving. It's always evolving. I think when I first started making music, I would like specifically find a beat, then figure out the topic for it, then make the song. But I just recently made a song in the studio with my homie Shoots the artist. It was an amazing song. We made it last night actually at Classic. It was fire.
Classic, shout out Classic.
Yeah, shout out Classic. That was my first time there, and it's a beautiful studio.
Yes, it is.
So yeah, damn, I forgot what's the question.
It was where you find inspiration in your writing process.
So for me, motivation. Like I talked about that last song that you just played. It reminds me of Triumph. That's really important to me.
Yeah.
So I try to make sure that my music has some bit of motivation in it. Something that inspires you to be better. Because I know what it's like to feel like you lack the motivation or you need something to kind of get you up and going. And I kind of want to make music to be that little push that people need. So that's my inspiration for sure.
Very cool.
Now we're celebrating Black Music Month, and we're celebrating not only like just any music, but Chicago music and Chicago artists. What do you feel like your contribution is in the city of Chicago and for Black Music Month?
Hey, honestly, I've been thinking about my answer to this since you asked them that question. I want my contribution. I feel like in Chicago specifically, I think there is a big emphasis on like singers and R&B music. And I think that's because the hip hop in Chicago has historically been a little dangerous in the last 10 years. So people don't really want to deal with it. So I want my legacy in music and in Chicago to be kind of the force that changed that. Like you can make hip hop music, you can rap and not have that violent element. I'm not drilling, I'm not selling drugs, I'm motivating, you know? And I think that it's a lot of artists out here that are doing the exact same thing and might not be getting the kind of looks because you hear they're a rapper. So I want that to be my legacy, to create a industry for not only artists in general, but specifically for rappers. And then in addition to that, like you guys were just speaking about a couple seconds ago, I feel like a lot of the spaces to be creative and artistic in Chicago are on the south side or downtown. I'm from the west side, and I'd like there to be exactly. I like there to be more of those kind of spaces on my side of the city. And I think that people will find if we had more spaces on the west side, they will probably be much more lucrative than in other spaces. So yeah, I think those two points are things that I hope to inspire and leave a legacy for here in Chicago from my music and what I'm trying to do.
I feel that. I think a lot of people argue that, well, at least you have Wicker Park. Wicker Park ain't
That's not
really
the not the west side. That's not the west side. That's I mean it's cool like but yeah, that's not. I don't even really consider it like Wicker Park. Like I'm really from the west side, so that's like Humboldt Park to me. You know,
Right. Because the name change. Yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah, that's not. And people from Humboldt Park during that time wouldn't really say they was from the west side. You know,
right.
So, yeah, to me, I think the west side started on the other side of like California or Western or something like that. You know,
I feel that.
Western,
but
west side.
and we do. But Wicker Park does have a lot of spaces that are being available for artists, but I think you still also kind of feel that element that I was just talking about. Like if you're a rapper, yeah, it's cool, but you got a dress code and no cursing and no more than 5 people with you. So it's like all of these restrictions to make sure it doesn't become dangerous, but it doesn't ever have to be that. And I want to kind of
Change
release
the
that whole-
narrative.
Exactly.
I feel that there. I mean, I have to plug my artist. Shout out to Asar. Asar,
Yes.
he is another artist that does.
Yes.
I was really trying to hit her hand, but Asar is another artist who does not curse. He doesn't curse in regular life. He doesn't curse on any tracks. So, all of his music is about positivity and growth and all of that. Like, there's people really out here getting it by just being their authentic selves. And you don't have to trap and drill and do what everybody else is doing to be a part of the music scene. Like, some people think that that's the law. You have to do that in order to be heard, especially in Chicago, because a lot of the black struggle is about struggling.
Yeah.
No, there's black joy. There's black triumph. There's
And even-
so many other things that you can write about.
And
Facts.
what people
Yeah.
fail to realize is that when you share yourself, when we hear it in the music, we hear the authenticity, the rawness in the music. And you got to think about it. There's 7 billion people in this world. At least a couple million have been through the things that you've been through, feel the things that you feel, and they want to be able to put that into words in music form. And sometimes when you can't speak on a thing or find the words to a situation, there's always that one song you can find and listen to and be like, this is exactly how I feel. So if you be yourself and people gonna hear it.
Yeah.
They're gonna hear it. We can almost see the cap in people.
Right.
Yeah.
Almost always see the cap in
Right.
people.
We've been talking about songwriting a lot. We talked
Yeah.
about it last episode too.
And there's still a part 2 coming up because there's a true business side to songwriting.
Yep.
But like being yourself, like it really does help because you have fans who are leaning on somebody that they can look up to, they can humanize and relate to. And man, people are being more and more vulnerable in their music, and we need that.
I also
Safe
think.
spaces.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I also think that there's multiple sides to every story.
Yeah.
So like, if you think about the guys who really started the hip hop wave in Chicago, they talked about the struggle and the hard times, but it wasn't in a negative way. You got the Kanye Wests, the Commons, the Lupe Fiascos. Those guys kind of
Yep.
had their own sound, but nothing was negative about it. But it still gave you a window into the life that they were living and the struggles that they dealt with every day.
Exactly.
That we could all relate to, and that's something that I want to do in my own way. I also think that music and sounds are ever evolving. So just because music might sound a certain way, you have to listen to the message that comes with it,
Yeah.
because people change with the times, and you can
Right,
have a positive
right.
message in something that might not initially to your ears sound positive. So
Yep.
yeah,
I feel that. I have one last question for you.
absolutely.
So we didn't ask every artist on this show this question. You eat chicken?
Yeah, I eat chicken.
Okay. So
I'm a picky eater though. I will state that.
You like chicken
Okay.
fingers?
So you gonna get real particular with this answer today.
Okay.
How would you explain your music to somebody in the form of your favorite chicken order? So like, really think here. Don't just think Uncle Remus because I'm on the west side, yada yada yada.
Right.
It's fried hard.
Think about the Buffalo
you know I was gonna say
Wild
it.
Wings. Think about the sharks. Think about the different sauces. All of that stuff.
Hooters.
How would you describe
good.
your music in the form of a chicken order?
I'm hungry now.
That's an amazing question. All right. So when you say a chicken order, do you specifically mean like what restaurant I would go to and what I would
Nope.
add to it, or like how I think the chicken should be made?
Either way.
However it's prepared, what
All right.
sauces, the
Facts. I got you.
seasonings,
Yeah.
how is it fried?
All right, I like to cook. You feel me?
Okay.
Oh, you love a man with cook now.
chefing it up. You feel me? So I would say, first of all, I don't like dark meat chicken
Fair.
because of all the fat.
Okay.
So my music, straight to the point, clear cut. You get the message off top. None of the fat, none of the extra. You know what I'm saying? But I add my flavor. You know.
Okay.
So it gotta be some lemon pepper seasoning on there. I'm from
Say that
Chicago. You
again.
feel me?
Say that
Like,
again. Right.
White
gotta
meat,
be
lemon
some
pepper.
white meat, lemon pepper. All right, let me tell you what I'm particular about though. because I really cook. You feel me? All right. So some people
He
use
used buttermilk.
Hey, I was finna I got you. See?
already knew.
Some people use buttermilk, right? You got to put the egg in the buttermilk and make it stick to the chicken more. And my music got like an old school feel, so you got to batter the chicken in the brown paper bag.
Come on.
You feel me?
Yep.
Not the grocery bag, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly. You got to really put the
Plastic.
Now I'm big on flavor, so we got to put that lemon pepper on the outside of the chicken once it come out the fryer.
Okay.
You feel me?
Yep.
And I feel like I wouldn't be from Chicago if I didn't add mild sauce.
Yep.
But no offense to you Southsiders, I don't want no Harold's mild sauce.
Hey,
You feel me?
I'm not even mad about that.
I knew we was gonna hear it.
So Uncle Remus only. And yeah, I think that's my chicken order. You feel me? None of the fat, white meat. It's real. It's good for you.
Double layers of lemon pepper, y'all.
Of the lemon pepper, and make sure you batter it right. It gotta have that old school feel.
All right.
I love this.
We like it.
I'm hungry.
Look, honestly, truly, I am starving.
Facts.
Well, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Our artist of the week, 6D Radio 100.
Let's go.
Here is Wondering. Here is No Question. And here is Wristwatch
Wristwatch.
Come on.
on 6D Radio.
It's no lie, it's no lie. It ain't no question. Grinding, I'm about to shine, that this shit's destined. You with them fights, we kept them dimes all in our section. Had hard times, but we survived, and it's a blessing. It's no lie, that ain't no question. You showing us all your actions, just ain't impressing. We penciling fingers, looking who you checking. Ain't surprised when they despise, cause I'm the best man. It's no lie, that ain't no question. You can't debate it, yeah. Been calling myself the greatest since Neo did Matrix. Bending backwards through hoops, hoping I could just make it. Galvanizing the troops took a whole lot of patience. All these dreams we was chasing, but imagine pacing in the kitchen to plan it out. I took a different route from all my homies, it's panning out. And I'ma keep on grinding to the top and I'm paramount. I need more than a fair amount. Keep going and air him out. Who doubt it? Ain't no question. Grinding, I'm about to shine, this shit is destined. You with them vibes, we got them dimes all in our section. Had hard times, but we survived and it's a blessing. It's no lie, that ain't no question. You showing us all your actions, just ain't impressing. We penciling fingers, nigga, who you checking. Ain't surprised when they despise, cause I'm the best, man. It's no lie, that ain't no question. All my life I had to live in the go. Made me the best, on the grind, not only living, I grow. Run up a check, all these rappers got these similar flows and they can't object. No, it's hard to contest when they was built from this mold. See, eyes closed, I could still make a play with no timeouts. Cause life was getting hectic, catching blessings like wide outs. Wanna show us in your chest, you can't just take the defined route. I took my chance just to find out. Who doubt it? Ain't no question. Grinding, I'm about to shine, that shit is just dancing. You with them vibes, we got them dimes all in our section. Had hard times, but we survived and it's a blessing. It's no lie, that ain't no question. You showing us all your actions, ain't impressing. We penciling fingers, looking who you checking. Ain't surprised when they despise, cause I'm the best, man. It's no lie, that ain't no question. Yeah, yeah.
We got the best music. You know that. It's 6D Networktainment with 6D Radio.
You know the shoots on the beat. 100. I've been the people's champ. It's like Paul Wall in 05. Chest been filled with pride since I opened my eyes. I had to shed off the disguise, shit the golden surprise. None less, it's only real in my guys. It's how we chill with the guys. Roll up the paper. sip us couple drinks as we smoke. I hope these little tokes keep us equally yoked. And if I ever go and fall, hope they keep me afloat. Love in the city, my location remote. You can tame my approach. All that I wrote up Hall of Fame with the quotes. See niggas chasing bread, then they race to be broke. I stay ahead, second place is a joke. Shit. That's why heavy is the head who get hated the most. This why I'm it. If you ever see me wondering, I'm never wondering. I only wonder where I'm supposed to be. Yeah, that's a fact. So I'm never really wondering. You only wonder when you really free, really free. Every word I ever wrote, you bet I meant it. Never giving no penance, no lies in any sentence. My grind made me a menace, see I gotta get mine. Been the best, it's just a matter of time. Till my shows got a line wrapped around and behind. I took that as a sign, they not made for my kind. Cause the cloth they made my cut with came from patience and grind. See these niggas in the race and I just pay it no mind, it's facts. Looking to find what this life's really about. Is it money, is it clout, is it making it out? Cause all my people seen the struggle, now we changing the route. Or digging tunnels if they happen to doubt. Built from the grout and all the bricks that my people have laid. Years of being slaves, now these niggas get paid and paving ways. All this work just to get out your maze. We writing history and turning the page. If you ever see me wondering, I'm never wondering. I only wonder where I'm supposed to be. Yeah, that's a fact. So I'm never really wondering. You only wonder when you really free, really free.
Show me the stars in the sky. Yes. Here we come. Freedom is a choice against so many people decide not to. They think we're crazy. They call us freaks. Honestly, I think believe we're destined for great things. I know.
If you ever see me wondering, I'm never wondering. I only wonder where I'm supposed to be. So I'm never really wondering. You only wonder when you really free, really free. If you ever see me wondering, I'm never wondering. I only wonder where I'm supposed to be. Yeah, that's a fact. So I'm never really wondering. You only wonder when you really free, really free.
It's 6D Networktainment, the creators of Windy Fest Chicago on Q4 Radio.
Man, I'm killing them with this watch. Ain't no diamonds, all gold in the TikTok. I've been writing and I swear I got my wrist locked. Seen them hating, but I'm shining with this wristwatch. Ain't no time we spit fire when the beat knock. Plus I'm grinding so it ain't no taking these spots. I got a feeling you ain't never seeing me stop. It's cause I'm shining with this wristwatch. See, I spend my time plotting for the bands. Gotta go and get it, ain't no stopping my plans. Man, another hour, gotta watch on demand. And I swear it's all gold from the crown to the band. One clout going out for a trend. Why be really right, got a fountain in my pen. Skills been acquired and we mounting the mins. Got my team looking tired cause we counting again. Tell me what I gotta do to get a change. Will these diamonds in my ears ever take away the pain? Cause a little bit of light up make them blame. I deserve a couple rains, we've been going through some things. Might just get another bracelet just to match. Been the best, gotta face it, it's a fact. See, I'm always been the truth, you can exact. And the way that I've been winning probably make them run it back. When I'm killing them with this watch. Ain't no diamonds, all gold in the TikTok. I've been writing and I swear I got my wrist locked. Seen them hating, but I'm shining with this wristwatch. Ain't no time we spit fire when the beat knock. Plus I'm grinding so it ain't no taking these spots. I got a feeling you ain't never seeing me stop. It's cause I'm shining with this wristwatch.
You ain't know what I had to do to get to the top. You see how I'm moving, yeah, you see my wristwatch. Do my little dance all over TikTok. Ain't true bubble gum, so you real pop. I'm from over east, where the shots got out the top. My flow so sick, go call the doctor. Cash getting more that ain't gonna stop. You see how I'm moving, yeah, you see my wristwatch. Light your heart, we all tryna get paid. Thirsty for success, gon' hand me my lemonade. Legal or illegal, cash gon' get paid. Running out of time, but still getting paid. Off the clock, clock. You see this wrist. Watch. Me and Juan going straight to the top. More
Man, I'm killing them with this watch. Ain't no diamonds, all gold in the TikTok. I've been writing and I swear I got my wrist locked. Seen them hating, but I'm shining with this wristwatch. Ain't no time we spend fire when the beat knock. Plus I'm grinding, so it ain't no taking these spots. I got a feeling you ain't never seeing me stop. It's cause I'm shining with this wristwatch.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was 100.
Yes, sir. You almost sound like me doing the 100. I'm trying to get like you when I grow up.
I'll do something that I haven't done for artists and DJs in a while. I'll make you a drop. I'll record you a drop.
I'll do
that. Just for you.
We gotta do it.
That was 100. Our artist of the week. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm crashing right now.
Yeah,
and I almost lost my train of thought. I almost forgot how to work all of this.
Need that overflow.
We gotta get canned some coffee.
Okay.
Ew.
You gotta commit one day. You just gotta wean yourself into it.
You gotta do the lattes. That's really where you gotta start.
Exactly.
No, you gotta start with just a shot of espresso. Forget
that's
the latte. You just gotta go. You just gotta go.
Go to the extreme. Get you like a chai latte or something.
No, that was.
She gonna crash.
Your heart is gonna give out.
Crazy. But anyway, this ain't about Cam right now.
It ain't.
Juan, you snapped. The songs are incredible.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Where can we find you?
You can find me on social media, on all social media sites at keepit_100. 100 is spelled WAN00. And then you can find me on all music streaming platforms. Just search my name once again as WAN00. I'm Juan and I always keep it 100 with you. Merch coming soon. New single coming June 23rd. EP coming like July 15th ish. So I got a lot coming for sure. So stay tuned.
100, keeping it 100 and letting y'all know the output is insane. It's on the way.
Trying to.
Yes. We appreciate you stopping by.
I appreciate y'all.
And man, it's been a joy having you on the show. Liv, it's been a joy having you on the show as well.
Shout out to OAD Productions. Yes.
Shout out to Yolanda for coming on the show and doing her thing. Shout out to you, Shawnee.
Thanks.
Shawnee been on tour. Like, she been busy. So
yes. Man, look.
She's
famous.
Returned to the show.
6D Networktainment on
Dang, why she trying to end us so early?
It's like I need to take a nap.
Right.
And speaking of, we're still celebrating Black Music Month. We got some things on the way.
Yes.
Now, if you've been watching the stream, you've seen a cute little flyer. Our girl Sanit, she is coming to Chicago. She's coming back home and doing her homecoming show next week, June 16th at the Promontory, and she will be checking in with us on our IG Live June 14th. That is Wednesday at 8 p.m. You don't want to miss that. Ain't nothing like a good homecoming show.
Okay.
So we're going to check in with her, what she's been up to since she's moved to LA and been doing her thing. And she got some new music on the way, a listening party, the whole nine. It's going up next week for Sanit.
Yep.
And, one thing about 6D, we don't just talk about the things that we claim we represent. Like, we live this.
Yes.
This is an
live
everyday
this.
thing. We talk about these conversations and we live it on the camera, off the camera, on the mic, off the mic. And one of those things that we've always tried to do is push these artists. Sanit is one of them. And we showing that right now. We joining forces with all these other platforms. Shout out to Live Young.
Yes,
Doing their thing.
Yes.
And look, next week it's Sanit next week.
Just like how we want to keep artists in the city, if they do decide to move, we're going to make sure we show love when they come back.
We still gonna love on you.
Exactly.
Come on home, baby. Come on. And then we have something else going on during Black Music Month.
Yep. So we have a couple of things coming down the pipe. We have a industry conversation that is in the works. We have a series that we call Industry Conversations, where we bring one industry vet from the city of Chicago who made it here, who might have moved but came back, you know, who has their come up story that they want to share with our audience, where we give our audience accessibility to this person. They can ask them questions, they can get resources from them, all types of stuff. Past panelists and speakers have been DJ Jamal Smalls, Brianna Gatlin, Patrick Welby, Patrice Coakley,
Brian
Sykes, so on and so forth. So
big dogs in the game.
yeah, we got a big dog that we're gonna be interviewing. We're gonna drop that flyer. We ain't gonna tell y'all who it is yet. So we're gonna show y'all that soon. And then we also have at the end of the month, on June 28th, at the Epiphany Center of the Arts, we are doing a So Far Sound Show, Black Music Month edition. We have incredible artists that we are going to be celebrating. Obviously, I like to keep it. People been posting the artists and their dates for So Far Sounds. That's not how it's supposed to be. Their business model is, it's a secret. You come to the show and be surprised by who these artists are. So just show up. Just show up and you'll see who we got. So June 28th at 7:30 p.m. at the Epiphany Center of the Arts. And we'll be dropping all this on our channels. Follow us at 6D Networktainment on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and TikTok. And also follow Radio 6D on Instagram. All right, y'all.
And that was your church announcements brought to you by Sister Shawnee. Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you all enjoyed the show. We enjoyed you all. Shout out to everyone who gave us some great traction on the YouTube live. Shout out to Wendy Daniels, who said, "Ouch, no Harold's mouth sauce." And she also said, "Great interview," and I feel you on that chicken. Shout out to D. Lyles, Dexter Peterson, Brian Jenkins. We appreciate you all and everyone who have stepped in on the YouTube live chat. In 2 weeks, we have another episode. Until then, make sure you all follow us. Make sure you follow OAD Productions on everything they have going on for Black Music Month. Shout out to 100. Make sure y'all follow him. And follow our photographer.
Yes.
Okay, just go to one of our interviews, go to any of our posts with our pictures, and look, we plug him. So make sure y'all follow him, book him.
Wait, it's Nair_the Prince.
The Prince, ladies.
So NIYIR_DAPRYNCE.
All right, y'all, we got to get up out of here.
Bye.
Y'all have a great night.
I got a baby to feed.
Bye.
6D Networktainment on Q4 Radio.